Okay, hello to my digital family friends and followers in the digital space and beyond. So today's video is it's Friday, and so we're gonna call the theme for today is Forgiveness Fridays, or maybe we'll do it like Forgiving Fridays. I'm not sure yet. I'm still working that out, but you get the gist of the theme. So what I want to talk about from this Friday moving forward is forgiveness, and I want to just give a little tidbit about how forgiveness has helped me in my life, how it's allowed me to move forward. A lot of people feel that they're stuck in a situation, and they think it's because of their environment, of their circumstance, of the people around them, however it may be, even their mind. But a lot of times what the holdup or the block is not even any of those. What it is, it's the fact of forgiveness, that there are people holding on to grudges. Let me just fix this stick real quick. I had picked the worst day, I think, to come to this coffee shop. So anyways, they want to hold on to grudges, thinking that I'm not even sure exactly what people think. I know for me, when well, actually I never was really a person to hold on to grudges. I just kind of would easily release things, just because I understood at an early age I didn't like being in a place of the jail of a grudge. I just knew at a young age I didn't like that feeling. I didn't like being in that place. It didn't really help me, it didn't help the other person, and it just kept you in a place of like fighting and aggression and basically a state of hate and just anger. So at a young age I did learn that. I really wasn't aware of it at the time though. I just knew I just wanted to get along and move forward, but as I've gotten older and I've come into awareness, I understood that forgiveness played such a big part in basically a lot of the decisions that allowed me to grow the way that I have. And so I just want to give you some ideas of some forgiveness that you can utilize in your own life, that can potentially help you, that I believe actually will help you if you are open to it and open to doing the steps and taking doing the work on it. So I'm just going to give you some examples of things that you could probably forgive right now. So someone from your past, and actually what I think would be best is if you would sit every Friday and go through this whole list and really stretch yourself and think and dig deep and say, okay, who can I forgive in this category? What can I forgive in that category? And I'm going to go through it. It's not really complete, but these are the things that came to me very quickly, downloaded into my mind, that I want to share. So the first one is forgive someone from your past. A lot of the times I think there's certain people that we feel like, well, because we've gone on into our life and that we've forgotten people or things or whatever, that we have forgiven them. In actuality, that's not the case, because there may be some times when you think about things, when you remember things, and you can feel it, you can feel the pit in your stomach, how that situation or that person made you feel. And so you want to go back and really think about a time when there was someone, maybe it was somebody you knew, maybe it was a stranger, maybe it was somebody that you were in the grocery line one time. And I remember when we were in Kuwait, not that I remember anybody back there in that time anyways, that was like a time that it was a fun time, but didn't really, actually no, that's not true. There was this one girl that was hating on me. Anyways, we used to be in Kuwait, and the Kuwaitis would literally cut in front of you if they knew you were American. Like, you would be in the grocery store and they just had this sense of entitlement, like, this is my country, I'm gonna do what I want. And so they would cut in front of you. And that's just an example, I just thought that was really strange. I thought it was an interesting memory and situation to bring into this topic today, the theme of today. So, something like that, if it's a stranger, it may be a loved one or whoever. So someone from your present, someone right now that you may be holding on to something that you say, I don't want to forgive this person. I want to be angry. I want to be stuck in my emotions and my feelings. I want to just hold on to this because you know why? It's going to make me right. If I forgive that person, then I'm going to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong. Nobody wants to be wrong. And so forgive somebody from your present, okay? The other thing is a stranger, which, I pretty much just went over. Forgive a stranger. Forgive somebody. Give them a pass for something that they may have done that they didn't realize, maybe they did realize. I remember one time These are so interesting to bring up. I remember one time, same kind of situation actually, and it actually happened here. This is when we were like, you know, eating once in a while these crazy foods, but we went into, I don't know where you're at, but here in California, Southern California, we have this chain called Wiener Schnitzel, and it's like a hot dog chain, fast food chain. And so we were in line. We were like not necessarily in the line, but you can tell we were there waiting for the line because there's like all different directions you could come. It wasn't like one way in, one way out. So there is this lady, she pulled right up in front of us, and I was like really irritated because the kids were kind of going off. They were hungry, you know, it was like all of us, it was like one of her, and she just kind of like, you know, knew exactly what she was doing. She pulled out in front of us, and I was like, hey, like we were here. And she was like, okay. And I was like, no, I was like, no, we were here, we're like in line. And she was just like, okay. And I was like, well, maybe she's not understanding. So I got out of the car, she pulled up, and I knocked on it. When I said, ma'am, I was like, we were here waiting. I was like, I know, did you see us when you pulled it? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, you did? She's like, yeah. I was like, okay. And so, you know, I don't even know what happened. I was just pretty pissed off, and I was just like, and it's so funny because I actually remember that now, and that comes to my mind every once in a while. Not necessarily because I'm holding on to it, just because funny things, you know, like random memories that go through our interesting human brains, the way that they do. And so I'm going to choose her to forgive as my stranger. Keeping it real and sharing with you. See, you're seeing firsthand like certain things like that. My forgiveness usually kind of lies with people that are close to me, people that may have been enemies that deliberately try to hurt me, like back all my bullies back in the day. This is for you. Forgive you. Forgive a loved one. Got a few people there I could forgive. Forgive a friend. You know, I had a friend actually that recently kind of vented out on me, and she did basically, that's creepy. She did basically, I guess that's for you. She did basically say, oh, okay, I'm sorry, that wasn't like meant for you. And I was just cool. I kind of knew. I was like, oh no, I'm fine. Like it didn't, like it kind of like bothered me a bit, but it wasn't like deep to the core. I was like, damn, that was so weird. I was just like, oh wow, she's going through some things, you know. And so like I forgive that. I already forgave her, you know, the moment it happened, because of awareness I could see that, you know, like, so I was cool with that. I forgave her. A family member, which a loved one doesn't necessarily have to be a family member, so I may have to think on that one a little bit, maybe. Maybe it's just a situation that happened, you know, maybe there's a situation that happened and you're still like upset about the way that it went down. And of course this should be the absolute number one, but I think I believe I left it for the final and last on my list, is because, well, first of all is yourself, myself, yourself, you know, forgiving ourselves for things that we might have said that, you know, we didn't realize, we didn't mean to, we didn't intend to, maybe things that we were dragged into, that we you know, let the old part of us come out because of, you know, how other people were behaving, or, you know, just maybe going off of emotions, or just whatever you've done. Maybe you did something intentionally, maybe not, you know. I know recently for me, I was involved in a very big like three-way argument. It was insane. It was kind of like out of the blue. I wasn't expecting it. I was thinking that, you know, I was going to have this level-headed conversation, and of course a lot of this was done through text. So if I could recommend anything, is never do anything through text. There's people that like to hide behind text messages. They have what I call digital balls, and they say things, but they wouldn't necessarily say those things if they were, say, on the phone or, you know, in front of you. So we tend to like let things go freely when we do things through text message, so don't do that. Okay. So what I wanted to do is forgive myself for allowing myself to even go to that level, to like get there and to say things that were hurtful back, you know, because I felt like I was being attacked, and you know, I basically was at a weak point in my life, and I was at a weak moment. I was like, you know, I was just like, I was fed up with the years and years of pile up, and I was just like, you know what, okay, like, you want to go, let's go. But I honestly held back a lot more, but I still allowed myself to go there to some degree. And so I was upset. I was not even upset at the other people. I was like more upset, like, you know, because it's kind of expected. It's like things that I'm like, you know what, you can't control other people. They're gonna think and people are gonna say and feel however they want. And that's the thing is, there's some times when you come from your heart and when you say things and when you do things and it's from a good place, but somebody just doesn't want to hear you out. They don't want to understand you. They just want to see their perspective and what they think. And the fact of the matter is, they're not you. They're not in your head. So nobody could ever tell you about yourself. Nobody can ever argue what is true for you. Nobody. It makes absolutely no sense. Although they will, you know, swear up and down, it just can't happen. Just like you cannot put yourself in somebody else's shoes in it and say that you know more about them in their own mind and why they're doing things and this and that than they do about themselves. So for that, you know, I have to forgive myself. I have to forgive myself, and I'm releasing myself, I'm releasing them, I'm releasing the situation. And you know, I'm like trekking on. Like, it hit me hard for the first day, and then after that I was like, cool. But not a lot of people are able to do that quite yet. Not a lot of people, because it takes a lot of practice. And I'm going to tell you, it took me years of practice. I mean, like I said, I've been doing the art of forgiveness since I was, I hope you guys are getting this, because I don't have my headphones in. And again, what is up with this busy street? Since I was a little kid, you know, I've forgiven a lot of people, a lot of family members, and over, just so I can keep the peace and so we can, you know, like get along together and move on. And so it's been, you know, what I'm saying is it takes time, and it doesn't have to take you as long of time if you're just aware. And if you can let go of your ego, and if you can put down your pride and really come from a place of love and forgiveness, and think about times when you were hurt, think about times when you felt lonely, when somebody did you wrong, and put yourself back to that place, and now turn it and flip it and say, okay, now what if that was them? What if that person was feeling and going through these things? What if that person was hurting me because they were in a place of hurt, they were in a place of pain? Because really, that's the only reason why people say things, is when they're in a place of pain and they're hurt. They need your forgiveness, they need your love, okay? And so somebody's got to give, or else this world will never change. So I want to give you a little tactic from Catherine. Her name is Manifestation Babe. She's an amazing person. I've been following her for a little bit. She introduced me to something called, let's see, Ho'oponopono, I believe. It's a Hawaiian practice. And this is a method that you can use, an actual strategic steps to start on your forgiveness path and start exercising that forgiveness muscle. So the first one is, I forgive you. And what that means is, I release myself from you, from this person, from this situation, and it is no longer my problem. It will no longer affect me or my life. You say in this second verse is, I'm sorry. I acknowledge this situation, and I am sorry for holding on to it. That's your grudge. You're apologizing for holding that grudge in your heart. And it's no longer going to be allowed to bother me. You want to say thank you, and thank you so much for the lessons that this situation, that this person, this incident has taught me. And that is something that I actually took into when I didn't realize that I would actually look at things and say, okay, what, you know, did this teach me? And then the final one is, I love you, because love heals all, and you want to send out love to heal and to get through it, to get yourself through it, to allow it to release. Love is something that you can just not explain. It's such a powerful entity, thing, being, you know, virtue. It's just practicing love is going to get you through a lot of things, but you have to practice it. You have to feel it within you, within your spirit, within your heart. Think it, you know, write it down, talk about things like that, and just, you know, even if you can't go to that person and say it to that person, you want to say it out to the universe. You want to say it to God. I love you. I'm sending out love this way. And that, what that energy is going to do is, it's going to go out and it's going to reach them eventually, sooner or later. So I hope you all got something good from that. Okay, I went into 14 minutes. I'm trying to keep my videos 7 minutes and under, but hey, this was a pretty important and first video for this theme. So I will see you guys again tomorrow, Sacred Saturdays, or I think it's Sacred Spiritual Saturdays. I'm not sure with that, but it's gonna definitely keep sacred and spiritual in there. Okay, you guys have a great day, evening, night, morning, wherever you are at in this world. Stay blessed, be kind to yourself and to others, and remember, try something new today and see where it takes you. Bye.